So we are now going to move on to Carlos, calling in from Argentina. Pronouns are he, him. Says that he lives in a Catholic dictatorship and tried to promote the separation of church and state and was persecuted by the police. Jesus of Christ land. That sounds horrible. Carlos, how are you today?
I'm just fine, just relaxing, enjoying hearing you.
Hi, Carlos. Thanks for calling in.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your activism?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I tried to start to make the separation of church and state because here in Argentina there is not. And the Opus Dei reacted a little bit strong towards me. That's why my title is so bad. It's not a Catholic dictatorship, but we're going there.
Yeah. So you have, I looked it up online. I see some articles here from like Brown and whatnot, just talking about like the massive role of the Catholic Church in like Argentina's government and also military. And it seems like this is like the last regime that's kind of like bled over. Could you give us a little bit of details? Because I don't know anything about the politics of this region, and I don't know enough to say anything intelligent about it. So I would love to hear from you. You know, what exactly is going on?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I'm 40 years here, and I can really say that today there are two representative candidates. The pro are the conservatives, and the Peronists or the Justicialists are the left wing, something like that. But it's all a lie because everyone is attached to the power scene of the mass media and the large corporation. Sadly, here in Argentina, there is a lot of hypocrisy. There is a decay in every aspect. Everyone is talking about the degree of the lack of a better economy, but everything is going down, sadly. And really sadly, all the government, the last 20 years were terrible. Everyone was saying, yeah, let's vote to the right because the Kirchner are bad and all are bad. Sadly, the people don't see that. There are always, sadly, how can I say it? They're all corrupt. It's sad to say this about my country, but it's true.
You're preaching to the choir if you're talking about corrupt governments. We totally understand.
Yeah, it's sad. What kind of persecution did you experience?
I would really like to say, there's some politician that can do good or something like that, but sadly, there is a lack of real check of reality of people. It's like everyone is busy watching football and just stupid things. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're fine.
No,
what kind of you mentioned persecution?
Yeah,
by the police.
They do? How were you persecuted?
Yeah, 7 years ago, when I started to gather signatures for the separation of church and state, threats begins. Shut up, and in the street and in the internet was very often. But I didn't pay attention. I'm a big guy, so I play tough. And first was a couple of civilians, then the police started to say that they were going to kill me and some sort of this, and freak out. I really freak out. I was really scared, really, really scared, because the police in Argentina, you can watch El Bonaerense Pablo Trapero is a director here in Argentina. You can watch a lot of documentaries about the dictatorship and how the old structures are still and hidden under the Catholic Church and the Conservative Party.
Well, it sounds
I
like
was
you've got
telling you that,
like,
yeah, I freak out. I really freak out, and I went to Uruguay. I asked for asylum. I was there a couple of months. I couldn't really establish, and I was under my psychiatric medication. I was really in a bad state, and my parents went to ask me that return, and sadly, I listened to them. I returned, and again, I'm having trouble.
Yeah. You rejoined the church, you mean?
I didn't listen. What?
You rejoined, you say you rejoined because your parents put pressure on you and you rejoined the church. Is that what you meant?
No. The church, my parents aren't part of the church, but they are conservative.
Okay.
They asked me to return to Argentina because they felt like I was alone there. So I committed the mistake to return.
I see.
I get you. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, it sounds like you've got significantly like harder strife than I've got here in Oklahoma, which it helps put things in perspective. We live, here in the U.S., especially where I'm at. There's double-digit churches within walking distance of every house I've ever lived in. But at least I've never been threatened by a police officer for speaking out against it. Well, not much, but like we're obviously, as a nonprofit, we can't make any bold statements about supporting any political candidates or whatever like that. But I can say that I appreciate you calling in and sharing a little bit of your story with us. And I sincerely hope that you stay safe and that you were able to, use your voice as safely as possible.
Yeah, it's more than a psychological warfare, you understand? And it's like one day you can relax. You can relax because you are always expecting a blow, a threat, an insult, and I can't say anymore because other things happen, but really I cannot say that. Honestly, there's a like an sphere of everyone. Let's better shut up and look the other way, and it's very sad. It's really, really sad because I was a patriot. I really love my country, but when the people start to see me like a freak because I didn't believe in what they do and the way they do politics here, they treat me like a foreign. And another bad thing, when I was a child, all my life, my father was Jew, and like maybe in the federal district there are Jews, but not in the surrounding the state, and I got pretty rough time because of that. And when I became an atheist, that was just fuel for fire.
What I love about this so much, and I hate to say the word love because you're talking about painful things, but like what I hope other people are hearing and what makes me happy to hear is that like your experiences and what you're saying, especially there, are so ubiquitous with so many of the callers that we get. So many people say the same thing, and all of those people say that they feel isolated and that they feel attacked and they feel alone. And that's not to take away from anything you're saying. I sincerely hope that you were able to stay safe because that's a scary situation. I hope other people hearing this all around the world, because this show is listened to everywhere. I hope people hearing this, can identify with what you're saying and can sort of, feel a little bit together with that. They can feel like they're connected in some way, because that's very, very, very common. Things are tough all over, especially, for atheist communities, for Jewish communities. Absolutely. But I sincerely thank you for calling in and sharing this with me. Seriously, this has been a fantastic discussion.
I hope things get better in your country. I know it's a battle in many places in the world. We've dealt with that here in the U.S.
Exactly, it's a battle. It's a battle.
This movement toward
I really
authoritarianism.
like to think that I'm going to live. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
That's okay.
You're fine.
It's sad because I tried everything the democratic way. I didn't I even condemn the people who throw rocks to the church and all that stuff. And I don't understand. It's like, okay, let's have a debate. Let's have a chat about the separation of church and state, and everything go to hell. And
Yeah.
I don't want to start.
It's hard when you can't even have a discussion anymore.
Exactly. It's like the thing that I'm from Argentina. You are from the U.S., but we have a common ground. We can talk, and I can talk to a Muslim, a Jew, whatever. But these people, fanatics, that's the real problem. When the people got fanatic ideas, it happened with all aspects. Even with I was a communist when I was a teenager, and it happened the same. It's like it's a dogma. It's like a doctrine.
Dogma.
Don't discuss the state. Don't discuss the church. Don't discuss the authority. Don't think. Just go with the flow. And if you're not, you're a lazy bum. You're outsider. You are looking for something. You are guilty of something. It's like It's like you can. It's amazing because you almost can hear the priest like spreading the rumors. This guy is something bad, or maybe it's something dark. But the worst thing is from the part of my father, I'm Luciferian, but I'm an atheist. Luciferian in the meaning of philosophy. I understand Lucifer as a philosopher point, as an archetype of, like Jung says. And I can explain these people that it's a philosopher statement. You understand? They treat it like, oh, this guy is Satanist, surely is up to bad things. And I'm not a saint, I've been around. I've been aggressive towards people that have been aggressive to me, but I'm not a terrorist. You understand? That's the way you treat me.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally understand. I appreciate you sharing it with us.
Well,
We've got to move on because we got a few other calls
thank you for calling,
on the line.
man. Thank you, Carlos.
I seriously,
Thank you
I
so
appreciate you
much.
sharing all this with us and helping people get some perspective. Seriously.